My child, do not look away, because heaven allowed your eyes to land on this message. You are not here by accident, and you are not here by coincidence. Your name has been spoken in the higher realms, and the angels are circling you now. I am speaking to you because your heart has been wounded, and what comes next will shake you, but it will also free you. And you must breathe slowly as you read these words. Heaven has watched you cry in silence, and every tear you shed has been counted. You have felt abandoned by the one you love, and you have wondered why your heart was asked to endure this. You tried to stay strong when your soul felt empty, and you tried to smile when your spirit was trembling. You kept giving love when you received confusion, and you kept offering truth when you were handed uncertainty. And now you are here, because I have something you need to know. Type victory if you believe breakthrough is coming. Something hidden is being revealed, and something painful is finally breaking open. The third party that stood between you and your soulmate has vanished. And they did not leave quietly. They were removed by divine force, and the timing was not random. You felt the shift even before you understood it, and your spirit recognized the tremor in the unseen. Your soulmate has been restless in their sleep, and their soul has been calling your name without speaking. They tried to run from the truth that lived inside them, and they tried to bury the desire that kept rising again. But heaven has stepped into their heart, and the confession they just released is shaking the spiritual realm. They told the truth they were afraid to face, and they admitted what they could no longer hide. They confessed that they never stopped loving you, and they confessed that no one else ever reached them the way you did. They tried to replace you, and they failed. They tried to forget you, and they couldn't. They tried to silence the connection, and the connection only grew louder. The angels have been whispering your name to them, and their soul has been pulled toward you like a tide returning to shore. Your soulmate is awakening, and you are feeling the echo of their realization. They have been confronted with their own shadow, and they now see the weight of the mistakes that broke you. They see how deeply they hurt you, and they see how much you still matter. The third party was removed because they were never meant to hold your place, and heaven has ended what you were too wounded to end yourself. Divine intervention stepped in where your heart could not, and what was blocking reconciliation has been cleared away. You are standing in a sacred transition, and the spiritual world is shifting around your love story. Heaven is preparing you for a reveal, and the truth you've waited for is drawing closer. And I need you to breathe deeply again, because your heart is about to hear more. Your soulmate confessed that they were scared of you, and not because of anything you did. They were scared because of how real it felt, and how deeply you touched the parts of them they tried to keep hidden. They were scared of being vulnerable, and scared of losing themselves in something so powerful. They chose something less because it felt easier, and they chose someone else because it felt safer. But the safety collapsed, and the illusion shattered, and now they see you clearly, the way heaven always saw you. Type 888 if you are ready for abundance and divine favor. You were the gift they didn't understand, and the blessing they weren't mature enough to handle. You were the prayer they didn't know how to receive, and the miracle they pushed away out of fear. But fear breaks under divine pressure, and truth rises when it is time. And now it is time. Your soulmate has been trembling with the truth, and their heart is no longer able to hide from what it feels. They have been haunted by your absence, and every memory of you has returned with force. They tried to distract themselves from the connection, and it only made the connection louder. They tried to convince themselves they moved on, and their spirit refused to believe the lie. The angels have been surrounding them in their dreams, and your name has echoed through their sleep. They wake up thinking of you, and they fall asleep whispering the questions they never asked. They confessed that losing you broke something in them, and they confessed that choosing someone else wounded their own soul. They wanted comfort instead of growth, and they chose convenience instead of depth. But shallow waters cannot satisfy a deep soul, and the truth always calls a person back home. Your soulmate has been mourning you quietly, and heaven has been watching their spirit soften. They have been shown the difference between lust and love, and they finally understand that you were the real thing. The third party was not removed by chance, and the timing was written long before this pain ever began. Heaven let that season collapse because it was blocking your destiny, and it was dimming the light in your soulmate's heart. Your connection is protected by a higher power, and the breaking was necessary for the rebuilding. Your soulmate confessed something even deeper, and I need you to prepare your heart before you hear this. They admitted that they never loved the third party the way they loved you, and they admitted that they were pretending for far too long. Their soul was starving while they were there, and their spirit felt disconnected from itself. They felt numb in that relationship, and they felt empty even when they were not alone, because you were their divine mirror, and losing you took the color out of their life. Heaven allowed them to feel that emptiness, and heaven allowed the truth to chase them, and now they see you as the one their soul recognized first, and the one their spirit has been trying to return to. But before anything moves forward, you must understand this next part, because it carries weight. You are not being called back into pain, and you are not being asked to carry the burden of their choices. You are being protected by divine timing, and you are being lifted into a season of clarity. Your soulmate's confession is not the whole story, and there is a revelation coming that will change the way you see everything. Heaven is preparing them to speak to you, and heaven is preparing you to discern the truth without fear. Your heart has been through fire, and your spirit is being strengthened for what comes next. The angels have been clearing your path quietly, and the delays were actually protection. Type victory if you believe breakthrough is coming. You didn't lose anything that was meant for you, and you didn't suffer for no reason. There is a spiritual purpose to your pain, and a breakthrough is rising behind it. Your soulmate confessed that they still feel connected to you, and they admitted that the bond never broke. They feel you in their moments of silence, and they feel your energy when they try to move on, because heaven tied your souls long before this lifetime, and your connection was written beyond human understanding. But now the veil is thinning, and something sacred is approaching. You are being prepared for a divine turning point, and your next chapter carries healing and revelation. The spiritual world is shifting around you, and heaven is not finished speaking. Your soulmate has been facing themselves in a way they never have before, and their ego has been stripped away by truth. They can't run from what they feel anymore, and they can't pretend the connection didn't shake them to their core. They have been reliving the moments with you that they took for granted, and they have been wishing they had held on to you tighter. They see now that you were their safe place, and they see that no one else understood them the way you did. Their heart has been heavy with regret, and their spirit has been longing for reconciliation. But the angels are guiding this slowly, and heaven is not allowing anything to rush. You needed this pause to heal, and they needed this pause to awaken. Your pain was not punishment, and their delay was not rejection. It was spiritual preparation, and it was divine rearranging. The third party was only a detour on their wounded path, and that detour has finally closed. You felt a shift in your energy recently, and that was the moment heaven removed what was not meant to stay. Now your soulmate is standing alone with their truth, and they are realizing the depth of their mistake. They have confessed to angels that they should have chosen you, and they have admitted they were too afraid to love you fully. They were scared of how much power you held in their heart, and they were scared of giving you the pieces they didn't know how to share. Their fear pushed them into the arms of someone easier, and their confusion pushed them out of alignment with destiny. But destiny has a way of restoring what was fated, and heaven has a way of returning people to their rightful places. Your soulmate is being guided back toward you, and their steps are becoming clearer with each passing day. But this is not just about them coming back. And this is not just about love. This is about the evolution of your soul and the breaking of generational patterns you've been carrying. You have been healing wounds that didn't start with you. And you have been releasing burdens that were never yours to hold. Your spirit has been purifying itself through heartbreak, and the angels have been standing around you as witnesses. They saw your nights of silent crying, and they saw the moments you doubted your worth. They watched you question your value because of someone else's confusion, and they watched you shrink yourself to make others comfortable. But heaven is lifting you now, and heaven is amplifying your strength. You are rising in ways you cannot see yet, and you are being aligned with blessings that your heart will understand later. Your soulmate confessed something deeper than love, and I need you to hear this with a steady heart. They admitted that they hurt you because they were hurting themselves, and they pushed you away because they didn't know how to receive something good. They felt unworthy of your love, and they didn't know how to stand in the light you offered. But they are being healed from within now, and their soul is being repaired through divine intervention. Angels are working in their dreams, and heaven is softening the fear that once controlled them. Their heart is being turned toward truth, and their mind is being cleansed of confusion. The blockage has been removed, and the spiritual interference has been silenced. Heaven is opening the door that was once closed, and the path between your souls is clearing. But listen closely, because this part is important. You are not meant to wait in pain, and you are not meant to pause your life for their confession. You are being elevated into confidence, and your spirit is being crowned with clarity. Your soulmate is coming toward you because they are being guided, and not because you are chasing them. And soon, they will speak words they once swallowed, and they will reveal wounds they never showed you. You will hear the truth they hid, and you will feel the sincerity of what they lost, and heaven will be standing with you when that moment arrives, and your intuition will know exactly what is real. But for now, breathe, because your breakthrough has already started. Your soulmate has been restless for days, and their spirit keeps pulling them toward thoughts of you. They feel the weight of what they lost, and they feel the gravity of what they still desire. Their mind tries to stay calm, but their heart keeps shaking, and their soul keeps whispering your name. Even when they try to forget, heaven brings you back into their awareness. They see signs of you everywhere, and they feel your energy when they least expect it. This is not imagination. And this is not coincidence. This is divine alignment awakening inside them, and the truth they buried is rising to the surface. Their confession was not small, and their confession was not casual. They admitted that you were the one they prayed for without realizing it, and the one they pushed away because the love felt too real. They told heaven that their heart never moved on, and they admitted that being with someone else felt hollow. They wanted the third party to fill the void, and the third party only magnified the emptiness. And when the illusion collapsed, so did the excuses. When the truth struck, so did the clarity. Your soulmate can no longer deny the connection, and they can no longer run from what was written. Heaven is guiding them back toward their authentic path, and the angels are removing the fear that kept them distant. But you must understand this next part with a steady spirit, because it holds power. The reason the third party vanished was not punishment, and it was not karma in the way you imagine. It was divine protection for both of you, and it was a closure orchestrated by higher hands. That chapter was never meant to last, and that relationship was never aligned with destiny. Your soulmate learned painful lessons there, and they had to face their own shadows to understand your worth. They learned the difference between attachment and love, and the difference between comfort and connection. And now, their spirit is humbled, and their heart is open. They confessed that you were their peace, and they confessed that you were their mirror. They felt seen by you in ways they couldn't explain. And that scared them more than anything. They felt vulnerable around you. And vulnerability felt dangerous to a soul still healing. So they chose someone who required less depth, and less truth, and less courage. But shallow waters cannot sustain a deep soul. And their spirit eventually rebelled. The truth pulled them back to where they belonged. And the illusion crumbled beneath its own weight. Now they are standing at a crossroads. And heaven is guiding them toward honesty. They want to speak to you. And they want to release the truth they've been holding. But they are scared you won't listen. And they are scared you won't believe them. Their heart is trembling with hope. And trembling with fear. But heaven is whispering to them. And heaven is whispering to you. You are being prepared for a divine conversation. And your intuition will guide you when the time arrives. This is not a moment of desperation. And this is not a moment of weakness. This is a moment of destiny unfolding. And your soul is being aligned with something sacred. You are not meant to return to pain. And you are not meant to repeat old cycles. You are meant to rise into clarity. And you are meant to move into love that feels safe. Heaven is watching your healing. And the angels are protecting your heart. They saw what broke you. And they saw what confused you. They know the nights you stayed awake in silence. And they know the prayers you whispered through tears. And now, they are bringing you into a season of revelation. And a season of release. Your soulmate is awakening to their truth. And you are awakening to your worth. And soon, those two awakenings will meet. Your soulmate has been feeling a heaviness on their chest. And that heaviness is the truth they can no longer swallow. They have tried to distract themselves with work, noise, and routine. But your memory breaks through all of it. They hear your voice in their moments of stillness. And they feel your presence in their moments of weakness. Their soul recognizes that it lost its mirror. And it recognizes that it lost its home. And ever since the third party vanished, their clarity has been sharpening like lightning in the dark. Their excuses have been stripped away, and their false comfort has collapsed. They can now see how deeply they betrayed their own heart, and how deeply they underestimated yours. Heaven has been forcing them to face themselves, and the angels have been guiding them back toward repentance. This is not punishment for them, and this is not revenge for you. This is purification, and this is divine recalibration. Your soulmate has been carrying guilt like a silent stone, and their spirit is finally cracking open. They have confessed that they feel ashamed of the way they treated you, and they have admitted that their pride cost them the love they needed most. They pushed you away when they should have pulled you close, and they chose confusion when clarity was right in front of them. They see now that you were loyal even when you were hurting, and you were patient even when you deserved certainty. They see how deeply you love them, and it breaks them to know they didn't protect you. Their confession is shaking their soul, and their confession is awakening their heart, and heaven is not letting them ignore it anymore, and heaven is not letting them run from the truth. But listen closely, because this part is for you. Your heart is being protected from repeating old wounds, and your spirit is being guarded from falling back into patterns that drained you. You have grown more than you realize, and you have healed more than you know. Your soul has become stronger through this breaking, and your light has become brighter through the darkness. The angels have been standing beside you in silence, and they have been guiding you through the maze of your emotions. They watched you cling to hope when everything looked hopeless, and they watched you keep loving when your heart was tired. You didn't lose yourself in the pain, and you didn't let bitterness take your spirit. And because of that, heaven is rewarding you with clarity, protection, and strength. Your soulmate feels this shift inside you, and it scares them. They feel you becoming stronger without them, and they feel you stepping into your power. This is why they are being pulled back toward you, and this is why their confession is rising to the surface. They know that if they don't speak now, they may lose you forever, and heaven is urging them to move. And heaven is urging you to listen with discernment. You are not being asked to forget the past. And you are not being asked to fall blindly. You are being asked to stay open to truth and closed to anything less than love that is honest. Your soulmate's heart is softening for the first time in a long time, and they are realizing the weight of your absence. They wake up with you on their mind, and they fall asleep holding the memory of your touch. Their soul aches for you, and their spirit is tired of resisting what it feels, but they still fear your reaction, and they still fear that your heart has moved on. They want to come toward you with truth, but they worry you won't want to hear it. They want to apologize for the wounds they caused, but they fear it won't be enough. And yet, heaven keeps whispering that this connection is not done, and destiny keeps pulling them closer. You feel this pull too, even when you try to ignore it, and your intuition knows something is shifting. The spiritual realm is preparing both of you for convergence, and the angels are aligning the moment you will speak again. Your spirit will know when it is time, and your heart will feel the truth vibrate through you. For now, breathe, because the story is not over, and the truth is still unfolding. Your soulmate has been feeling a spiritual pull stronger than ever, and this pull keeps leading them back to you. They can't shake the sense that something sacred is unfolding, and they can't ignore the way their heart reacts when your name crosses their mind. They feel your energy like a warm echo, and they feel your absence like a shadow following their steps. Your presence is stitched into their soul, and no distance has been able to erase that truth. The third party's exit magnified everything they tried to hide, and it forced them to confront the pain they caused. They realized they were living in a lie, and they realized they were forcing something that never felt natural. They were trying to convince themselves that their choices were right, and deep down they knew they were breaking their own heart. Heaven allowed that connection to dissolve, and heaven allowed truth to flood in where deception once lived. Your soulmate has been replaying your conversations in their mind, and they have been revisiting moments they took for granted. They hear your laughter in quiet moments, and they remember the comfort of your voice during their storms. They feel the warmth of your energy beside them, and they wonder if you still think of them too. This wonder has been growing into longing, and this longing has been growing into confession. Their soul is urging them to be honest, and their heart is urging them to be brave. But they are afraid of the consequences, and they are afraid of the silence that might follow their truth. They wonder if you've hardened your heart, and they wonder if you've closed the door they once left open. They fear you've outgrown the idea of them, and they fear you found peace without their presence. And this fear is pushing them toward honesty, and this honesty is pushing them toward healing. Heaven is orchestrating this transformation in them, and you are not meant to carry the burden of their process. You are meant to stand strong in your power, and you are meant to remain open to what aligns with your soul. You have been healing wounds that took years to form, and you have been shedding layers of pain you never deserved. Your spirit has learned to trust itself again, and your heart has learned to love itself again. You are not the same person who cried for answers, and you are not the same soul who chased clarity and confusion. You have risen through heartbreak, and you have risen through emotional storms, and heaven is proud of how far you've come. And heaven is preparing you for what comes next. Your soulmate feels the shift in your energy, and they feel the strength you now carry. They know you are no longer waiting, and they know you are no longer begging for truth. This realization humbles them, and it awakens a deeper part of their spirit. They confess that they miss the way you understood them, and they miss the way you made them feel safe without trying. They miss your presence even more than your words, and they miss your energy even more than your touch. They feel incomplete without you, and they feel lost without your light. But they also confessed something that will break you, and it is time for you to hear it gently. They admitted that they thought you deserved better than them, and they admitted that they believed they would only hurt you further. They walked away thinking they were protecting you, and they moved on thinking you would heal faster without them. They thought distance was the safer option, and they thought their absence would free you. But instead, their absence broke you, and their choices wounded both of you. Now they see that avoiding the connection only deepened the pain, and suppressing the truth only magnified the regret. They are standing in that regret now, and they are learning from the weight of it. The angels have been guiding them toward courage, and heaven has been softening the fear that once ruled them. And soon, they will reach out, and soon, they will speak the truth. But you will not be caught off guard, and you will not be unprepared, because heaven is preparing your spirit, and heaven is aligning your heart with wisdom. You will know exactly how to respond, and you will feel your intuition leading you in the right direction. And no matter which path unfolds, you will be protected, guided, and held. And this story is still moving, and this chapter is still turning. Your soulmate has been waking up with a tightness in their chest, and this tightness is their soul urging them to face the truth. They feel the pull of destiny pressing against their heart, and they feel the weight of unfinished business between you. They can't shake the memories anymore, and they can't silence the emotions they tried to bury. Your energy keeps brushing against their spirit, and every time it does, they feel both comfort and sorrow. Comfort because your love has always been real, and sorrow because they pushed that love away. They have been thinking about the last moments you shared, and they have been replaying the things they never said. They confess these thoughts in silence, and they release these confessions in whispers heaven hears. The angels have been listening to the words they are too afraid to speak out loud, and they have been guiding their heart back toward courage. Your soulmate has been grieving the version of you they lost, and they fear that version is gone forever. They see how much you've grown through the pain, and they feel unworthy of the person you've become. Their confession is deeper than regret, and deeper than longing. They confessed that they didn't love the third party at all, and they confessed that they were trying to numb themselves with distraction. They were afraid of how intensely they loved you, and they were afraid of losing control of their heart. You awakened parts of their soul they didn't understand, and you stirred emotions they didn't know how to handle. And instead of facing those emotions, they ran. They didn't run because they didn't love you, and they didn't run because someone else was better. They ran because loving you required a level of honesty they weren't ready to give, and a level of depth they weren't strong enough to hold. Now they see the truth, and now they feel the consequence of running from destiny. Their heart aches for you in ways they cannot explain, and their soul cries for you in ways they cannot ignore. And heaven has heard every cry, and heaven has seen every moment of clarity. But the message is not just about your soulmate returning, and the message is not just about reconciliation. This is about the evolution of your journey and the healing of your spirit. You needed this heartbreak to discover your strength, and you needed this silence to hear your intuition. Your soul has cracked open in the most painful ways, and those cracks have let light enter you. You are not who you were before the heartbreak, and you are not who you were before the betrayal. You have become wiser, softer, stronger, and deeper. The angels have been shaping you quietly, and heaven has been whispering guidance into your intuition. You've been feeling a shift in your energy lately, and that shift is the proof that your spirit is moving into a new season. You are shedding old versions of yourself and stepping into a clearer purpose. Your soulmate feels this too, and the fear of losing you for good is waking their soul up. They are realizing that love like yours doesn't return twice, and destiny like yours doesn't wait forever. They confessed that they still feel spiritually tied to you, and they confessed that no matter where they go, they carry you with them. They told heaven they want to make things right, and they told heaven they are willing to change, but they fear you won't believe them, and they fear it's too late. Yet heaven is still guiding them forward, and heaven is still guiding you toward clarity. The connection is not done evolving, and your story is not finished. Something sacred is preparing to unfold, and your intuition feels this even if your mind doubts it. The angels are aligning divine timing for both of you, and they are clearing the path you cannot see yet. For now, breathe, because more truth is coming, and your heart will understand it when it arrives. But the heart always tells the truth, and their heart has been screaming your name in the silence. The third party's departure hit them harder than they expected, and not because they lost love. It hit them because it exposed the lie they were living, and it revealed the truth they were running from. They can no longer convince themselves that they moved on, and they can no longer pretend their soul wasn't tied to yours. Their confession has cracked open a flood of emotions, and their spirit is trembling under the weight of it. They admitted that your love was the purest they ever received, and they admitted they were afraid they didn't deserve it. They felt small in the presence of someone so wholehearted, and they felt intimidated by your emotional depth. You loved them without calculation, and they loved you with fear. You offered truth, and they offered confusion. You opened your heart, and they guarded theirs behind walls of insecurity. But time has softened those walls, and truth has begun to melt their fear. Their soul is awakening to the love they pushed away, and their heart is remembering what it feels like to be safe. This awakening is not accidental, and this awakening is not random. Heaven has been preparing them for this moment, and heaven has been preparing you for clarity. You both had lessons to learn apart, and you both had healing to do separately. Your heart needed to remember your worth, and their heart needed to confront its wounds. You needed to stand in your power, and they needed to see what losing you truly meant. Now the spiritual realm is bringing your paths closer, and the universe is aligning the energy between you. Your soulmate feels this shift in their intuition, and they feel the magnetic pull growing stronger. They sense something drawing near, and they sense that a moment of truth is coming. This realization scares them, and it excites them at the same time. They fear your rejection, and they hope for your forgiveness. They fear your silence, and they hope for your openness. But heaven is guiding this connection gently, and heaven is holding your hearts with care. You must understand that you are not being led back into pain, and you are not being asked to lower your standards. You are being guided into clarity, and clarity is always a gift. Your soulmate wants to apologize from a place of truth, and they want to express the emotions they buried. They want to tell you what they hid, and they want to show you what they didn't know how to reveal before. Their spirit is finally unblocking, and their fear is finally dissolving. And you, too, are being prepared for this revelation, and your intuition is being sharpened. You have become more discerning than ever, and you now understand what real love feels like. You know what your heart deserves, and you know what your soul needs. You are stepping into your worth, and your soulmate feels this rising within you. They fear you have outgrown them, and they fear they waited too long. But they also feel a spark of hope, and they feel heaven urging them toward truth. Your connection is entering a season of transparency, and the angels are guiding the next chapter. The truth that is coming may break you open, and it may heal you in a way you didn't expect, but you will not be alone in it, and heaven will stand with you every step of the way. The story is still unfolding, and the revelation is not finished.